Welcome and Happy New Year! Thank you very much for embracing your inner greatness by coming to the 2022 Bring Inner Greatness Out Global Conference. I'm Dr. Mansur Hasib, and my passion is to help you succeed. I love hearing stories of your experiments, successes, and triumphs. Greatness is a choice. Everybody is born knowing nothing. Everything is learned. People focus too much on what they don't have and not enough on what they do have. You don't need to be perfect, but you need to perfect your uniqueness. Add a few extra things. It could be a string of lights, doesn't matter. Add a few extra things to every ordinary thing that you do, and suddenly you will become extraordinary. It's that simple. During this entire event, keep your camera on. The conference is being recorded, so smile every time you feel like you're on camera. And now, what I would like to do is celebrate all the countries who might be represented here by acknowledging the countries where we got registrations from. Maybe they're not here in the audience, but if they are, I want to make sure that we acknowledge them. So we had I'm going to go by alphabetical order. We had registrations from Australia. Anybody from Australia? No. Bangladesh? No. Canada? I thought we had some people from Canada. Egypt? France?
Canada.
You're there? From France? Wonderful. Who's there from France? That's wonderful.
Hey, Nicholas, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Nice to meet you too.
India!
Hi.
I know we have a strong contingent from India, including one of the speakers. Make some noise!
I'm from India. Hi.
Hello.
I'm from India. My name is Bishakha.
Beautiful.
Bishakha from India. How have you been? Namaste to everybody listening to us.
Hey, welcome, welcome. Indonesia? Kenya? Nepal? Nigeria?
Nigerian.
Nigeria! Say hello!
Hello.
Wonderful, welcome. Pakistan? Philippines?
We are from the Philippines.
Wonderful, welcome,
Hello.
welcome. Strong contingent from Philippines. Portugal? Spain? Tunisia? United Kingdom! I know we have people from the United Kingdom. Say hello, make some noise.
Nosta from Wales in the United Kingdom.
Woo!
Woo, woo, woo. And of course, the United States of America. Yay! Venezuela. Wales.
Yay!
We're here from Wales.
Hello.
All right, welcome Wales. And we had a registration from the country of California also. Who's here from the country of California?
I think I did that.
I'll call it a country. We're like our own country, so the great country of California. I'll take it.
Welcome to the country of California. Now, did I miss any countries? Want to make sure before we move on that I didn't miss any country who's represented here in the audience. All right. Now that you're here, you're going to go through this experience with us. Please, after you leave here, tell 10 people all the fun that you had, all the things that you learned, and then tell them to join us here next year. Help make this ripple effect of greatness global. You will hear keynotes from 13 awesome people who are already creating that ripple effect in their own unique ways all over the world. Our first speaker is Merceditas' sister, Merceditas Ang, with her speech, Surviving During the Pandemic. Sister.
Thank you, Dr. Mansur Hasib. Your book entitled Bring Inner Greatness Out, Personal Brand is highly inspirational and can create a transformative impact on the readers. I believe that challenges in life can be translated into opportunities. Difficult times can compel our survival instinct to come up with a breakthrough. As the president of St. Paul University, Philippines, located in Tuguegarao City in the northern part of the Philippines, I experienced the brunt of stress, uncertainty, disruption, and adversity brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. What I like to share with you is a unique experience of surviving during the pandemic by bringing inner greatness through people engagement and mission-driven goals, adherence to quality and values, prayers, and positive mindset, adopting a sustainable framework of development and continuing innovations. Most importantly, strong faith and compassion. School leadership and survival in a COVID era would entail agility, strategy, resiliency, courage, competence, openness, and flexibility to adapt and embrace changes. The conviction and character to engage in reforms, paradigm shift, transition, transformation, and recovery effort. During the pandemic, I considered the life, health, and welfare of students, teachers, and staff as priority. And so, at St. Paul University, Philippines, we embarked on digital transformation in learning and school operations. We did not retrench. We paid the monthly salaries and benefits of all employees, even those who were not able to work in school for several months due to lockdowns. We gave big discounts, scholarships, and accepted promissory notes from parents with financial problems.
We nurtured the health and well-being of people and engaged the students and teachers in a caring virtual learning environment of synchronous and asynchronous learning modalities. Also, we explored opportunities on internationalization and partnerships with the academe and industry. We have intensified on research and innovations, community services and advocacies on sustainable development, and of course, loving service to others in need. How do we survive the pandemic? It is great to surmount the hardship of the pandemic with praise. P for positive disposition and mindset that will help us to adjust to the disruptions, to manage our stress, and take care of our physical and mental health and well-being. R for resilient attitude and skills to easily adapt to changes, cope with adverse situations, and bounce back amid setbacks. A for agile approach in tasks and responsibilities that deliver efficient, effective, prompt, value-added, and high-impact results and services. I for integral and transformative approach anchored on quality, values, technology, and sustainability. S for strategy. Strategic management and leadership founded on noble vision mission. Care for people and environment. Responsiveness to societal needs and support for national and global peace and unity. E for empathy and compassion for all, especially towards those affected by the global pandemic. Finally, I would like to emphasize that to move forward, we must create solutions to the problems and challenges that we encounter. And we need to explore possibilities and opportunities. We can bring out inner greatness with faith and hope for a better future. Thank you. And now, please welcome Dom Brightmon to deliver a talk on 3 C's for explosive growth.
Thank you, Sister Merceditas. Thank you so much. Love that presentation, especially when you mentioned compassion and adaptability, because that is something that we are going to need regardless of the times that we are in. When it comes to my speaking, I like to engage folks. So wherever you are right now, even though you're muted, repeat after me. Let's get some affirmations going. I feel happy. I feel healthy. I feel fabulous. How does everyone feel? Feel free to say how you feel in the chat box. Want to get the engagement going without the engagement rings, because we got 40 people in the room and 40 engagement rings from one person. That would put a dent in my bank account, so I don't want that to happen. But I do believe in the engagement, though. Thank you, Dr. Mansur, for this opportunity. More importantly, bring inner greatness out. If you're going to bring inner greatness out in this year and beyond, no matter where you are, where you're from, what you intend to do in the future, forevermore, you're going to be needing to have these 3 wonderful C's I'm going to share with you. These are 3 C's for explosive growth, because they've helped me in my life, they've helped many others in their lives, and it will help you listening right now. The first C, this is a pen moment. This is going to be a pen moment for the next 4 minutes. The first C, curiosity. Curiosity. Some say always be closing, some say always be connecting. In addition to that connection, you have to also be curious. When it comes to curiosity, ask yourself a powerful question. How can I? Some of you may be wondering, where's the rest of the question, Dom? Well, that's the question. How can I? This ties in with curiosity because when it comes to building your personal brand, you have to get within yourself. Inner wealth comes from within when you get internal. You have to intentionally seek in yourself. Because every single one of you have greatness within you. Even during the networking break about a good 80 minutes before we officially began at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, one of the attendees popped in and said, hey, I'm pretty much Jill of all trades, said she was a lady. Can't really call her Jack, don't want to offend nobody. And that wasn't even a name, period. But she also made us laugh during the networking break before more of you came into the Zoom room. Humor is one of the greatest tools if you're going to bring your inner greatness out, because if you can make people laugh, you can make them buy. If you can make them laugh, you can help them to heal from their situation, because one of the greatest things you can do for someone is to help them have a laugh if they haven't laughed all day, all month, or all year. C number 2, commitment. Commitment. When you're curious about yourself and your greatness, once you find that greatness, take action on what you can do. Another question you can write down. I said this is going to be a pen moment for the next 4 minutes. Question number 2 you can write down is, how can I add more value to more people in less time? How can I add more value to more people in less time? One of my mentors gave me that question about a good, I can't believe, almost 7 years ago now. One of the ways that I do that is by having a podcast. For those who read the bio when you registered, host of the Going North podcast, check it out. Quite a few attendees in this room have been on the show, including our following speaker after me, and of course, Dr. Mansur, and I'm sure a couple others will hop on in the future. And being able to highlight fellow writers who put pen to paper and join the business of immortality is a great way to add value, because they get a platform to get their voices out there and shared with the world, and they get to have a piece of content that they can promote forever. The third and final C, consistency. Being curious is a great thing, but it's one thing. You have to follow up that curiosity by being committed, taking action. And once you take action, always be consistent with that action, because that will set you apart. Because a lot of folks started podcasts in 2020. Microphones were sold out April of 2020. And we had a whole bunch of podcasts start, but a whole lot of them pod faded. They stopped after a few episodes. And when they stopped after a few episodes, they had to get back to their job and their regular work, but I kept going and a few others kept going. So if you want to bring your inner greatness out, always be curious, always commit to taking action, and always being consistent no matter what. And speaking of consistency, our next speaker is going to light up the stage even more, because he has got some great stuff for you. So let's welcome up Mr. S&M himself, sensational and marvelous, who's going to be talking about his wonderful journey to become an author, Stan McCluskey. Come on up, Stan.
Thank you, Dominique Brightmon, Mr. AKA Going North Podcast. Where's your book? I was at a Toastmasters event when Charlene Day asked me that question. I replied, I don't have a book. I'm no author. She then pointed her finger at me and said, everyone has a book inside of them. No excuses. At that moment, she planted the seed for my book. She kickstarted my journey to bring out my greatness as an author. Several months later, fellow Toastmaster Karen asked, do you have a title for your book? Expecting her to laugh, I said, yes. The title for my book is Divorce is Worse Than Death. To my surprise, she responded immediately with an enthusiastic, do it, I love it. She didn't just sprinkle water on my planted seed. She poured Miracle Grow on my seed. What was this seed? Years before, without me realizing it, I had been given a seed for a book, but the ground was not ready. A divorced friend had uttered the phrase, "Divorce is worse than death." She then went on to explain, "See, Stan, losing your spouse through divorce is worse than death. See, in death, you don't have to worry about seeing your lifelong best friend having dinner at your favorite restaurant with your ex-husband. That hurt." During my life, I had found out that the phrase "divorce is worse than death" rang true for many, including myself. When talking to someone who was experiencing divorce, they often seemed to be depressed. But when I shared the phrase "divorce is worse than death," they cheered up, as if someone finally understood their pain. The garden had been planted. I wanted to share my story and make a difference. I began working on my book, but quickly realized that I lacked the skills to cultivate the garden into a harvest. I'm no gardener. Matter of fact, I kill everything except weeds. And my book was starting to look like a harvest of weeds. I was discouraged. But that all changed when I hired fellow Toastmaster Michelle Chenoweth to be the gardener for my book. As my coach and mentor, she helped me grow a seed into a book that was worthy to be harvested and shared with others. Nurturing an idea from a small seed into a finished product is not easy. I took risk. I put myself out there to be criticized. But it paid off. It was worth it. Tonight, I join you and I continue my journey to bring out my inner greatness as an author with the help of fellow Toastmaster Dr. Hasib and this conference. I challenge you to dig deep, find your seed, and bring out your inner greatness as an author. To make this happen, I encourage you to surround yourself with people like Toastmasters who will not only buy into your dream, but will help you cultivate and transform the dream into reality and help you find that book that's inside of you. It worked for me. Here's my book. Now my question to you is, where's your book? No excuses. Now I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Bishakha Jain. Bishakha Jain will be giving her speech, Riding the Rainbow. Bishakha Jain, over to you.
Thank you, Stan, for the welcome. So, rainbow, an arch of prismatic colors is what we see. But many stresses on the fact that the combination of those colors put together create another different color altogether in the color wheel. India, the land I come from, is known for unity in diversity. How? Yesterday, in the north of my country, people celebrated Lohri. In the east, people celebrated Bihu. In the south, they call it Pongal, and in the west, they call it Uttarayan. These are different names for one harvesting time of the year. Here In every 100 kilometers, the food habits, the lifestyle, the cultural habits, language changes for everyone. Yet, we embrace the differences with absolute dignity and glorify each other's culture. My institute, Symbiosis International Dream University, its motto says, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which means the world is one big family. And I believe in practicing and preaching the same. And that is exactly what I testify about riding the rainbow. I am a plant mother, a painter, a poet, a writer, a public speaker, an educator, a daughter, a sister, a friend to many, a cybersecurity practitioner, and everything what I am as a whole makes me who I am. I am not just my job, the cascading virtue beneath everything that I do is my authenticity. I don't know can never be my problem, but that I don't want to learn certainly would be. And I am someone who can't do the same thing for the rest of my life. Nah, that's not me. Because as Dom said, I am curious, I am committed, and most importantly, I am consistent unapologetically. And that cybersecurity is transitory. You can transit from one domain to other. It is a privilege. I get to wear multiple feathers in my hat. Brilliant, isn't it? Just like the colors in a rainbow. When you turn multiple together into a cohesive whole, you find a new color altogether in the color wheel. Beautiful, isn't it? The best part about riding the rainbow is that I get to chase a new learning every day. I'm always hungry for soaking in more knowledge, which I believe is the true power. To be able to wake up and be excited about what you do is a blessing, and I am super blessed because that's what I have chosen by scratching beneath the surface really, really hard, battling my inner demons, fighting with my fears to conquer everything in order to bring my inner greatness out because greatness is a choice. I don't take anything so seriously and personally, yet I also never take anything that I pursue for granted. I love being real, and that is my chosen greatness. To have a voice that is heard is a privilege, and to be able to use that voice to influence lives is a massive blessing. And thanks to divine mentors like Dr. Hasib and others in my life, I am super blessed and honored. To everyone listening to me, just know you are everything you believe because perception is reality. Add colors of perseverance, passion, and commitment to it. You will find your way to the rainbow ride. Keep riding the rainbow. Never stop, never settle, and never ever stop loving where you come from, who you are, and embrace where your journey is taking you. Grow through what you go through. And I would like to conclude with a saying by Oprah Winfrey. Opportunity may knock only once, but temptation leans on the door well forever. Keep riding the rainbow. That is my time. Now, please welcome our dear friend Tom Bishop for his talk titled Don't Hold Yourself Back. Over to you, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishakha. They'll never hire me for the job with no experience in the field. I'm not even going to apply for the job. Why should I? They won't hire me. Those are my words for many years. I broke the chain. Don't hold yourself back. I spent 31 years in the military in the aviation field, 24 in the military, the rest as a contractor. The experience that I gained counts for something. It may not be about networks, computers, encryption, but I did learn a lot about management, government operations and policies, and how to network with people in the government. After I retired from the Navy, I went into contracting, doing the same thing I did in the Navy for 24 years. Needless to say, I was in my comfort zone at that point. With those 24 years in the Navy, I lost a lot of quality time with my family. I wanted to do something with my son that would help benefit him in the future. Since he was always interested in computers, we decided to do a bachelor's degree in computer networking and cybersecurity. This plan worked out so well that we decided to go on to our master's degree in cybersecurity management and policy. From this point, I felt confident enough that I'd put some feelers out to several companies. I got some interviews. I got some rejections, but I didn't let that stop me. Because one of the companies that I interviewed with that rejected me held on to my resume. And when they had a job that fit my background, that fit my experience, they called me in for an interview. This is where my transition really took form. I'm currently working as an information assurance analyst on a wonderful team doing a communications upgrade on the B-22 Bravo Osprey aircraft that you can see as my background. However, I found out yesterday that I was selected for an information system security engineer position that starts on Tuesday. So never count yourself out. Always look forward. After my son got his bachelor's degree, he went to work for a company that got him a lot of training, a lot of certifications. Roughly 2 years later, he now works for the same company I work for as an information system security officer. This happened about a month after I got hired. He decided to transfer over to the company I work for because the company takes care of you. It's truly a blessing to see the efforts did not go unnoticed. I get to see him grow in a wonderful company that cares for their employees. And as a parent, it's reassuring that knowing that he knows how to navigate through companies in the future, so I don't have to worry about him. Some of the tools that I used to help me with my transition were www.mynextmove.org. This helps you see the different outlooks for the different fields. I also use the Federal Student Aid, the FAFSA, for loans and grants, and www.usajobs.gov, which is a consolidated list of government jobs around the world. Moral of this story is always keep your avenues open. You never know when something will open up for you. Networking, attitude, and personal branding are the most important things to consider as you go through life on a day-to-day basis. I want to thank you guys for this opportunity to share my story and participate in this conference. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you our next speaker, Emma Garland, with More Than Words.
Good evening, everyone. Here is my speech on More Than Words. Imagine standing silently at the helm of a tall ship at sunset, seeing a perfect sunset and gentle waves. You know at this point you are part of the crew and that everyone working together makes the ship sail, but you also know you are part of something bigger. You know that you have found a connection, and in that moment, you are doing what you are meant to. Imagine being part of a crew that you don't speak the same language as, One of my proudest moments was the ability to take part in ship life. Some things stretch over boundaries, and communication is one of them. When you pull the sails along with everyone else and hold your place and make your contribution, you know you've made a connection and found your inner greatness. And now, engage with this imagination once more. Picture dancing with someone, feeling a connection, that through the moment and in that movement, you are there with them, that what you are experiencing is the same as them. That connection is something unique that you have carved and created in a space where people feel safe. Music is one of the most important features in our life that reflects our mood and our identity. Sometime before COVID, I was lucky enough to have been a Zumba teacher that you probably think is just a fitness thing, but is so much more than that, to offer someone somewhere where they can truly connect and feel free to express themselves. And sometimes that's what inner greatness looks like. And sometimes you're thinking, but policy as well. So in my job, I work in information governance and policy, and I work in compliance. And when we ask compliance of people, we're asking on a level more than academic reasoning alone. When a friend asks us to do something, we usually comply out of duty, obligation, or because an emotional response has been triggered within us that leads us to take action in order to be successful in what we aim to do for our companies and our organizations. We need to take people along with us. We need buy-in from our organizations. We can't act alone. So when I'm a manager in information governance, and this expands to cover data protection, data validity, and data retention, is about bringing people with me. And it's about meaning that those who need information being able to have access to it. And that's my professional expression of inner greatness, because let's not limit ourselves. We're allowed more than one. And it's a cross-organization function that reflects the aims of the organization. And that's when we're at our best, when we can connect. Creating a strong career in the public sector is something I'm proud of to achieve, and it shows my values and who I am. It gives me chances to always make new connections and improvements. People remember how you make them feel. They might have already decided what they think, but your message is your attitude, your tone, your presence, and your demeanor, so much more than just the words you choose to put on a page. And now you're sat there wondering, but Emma, how does this relate to personal branding? And the answer is this, that when we buy a product, we don't go off a review alone. We do it because we feel a connection to the brand or company. And for us to be able to show our true authentic self, that is also the ask of us, that when we have found a connection, that we feel that our true authentic self has something to offer. When we can demonstrate our aims and our values, we give others something to engage with us, and that's how we show our inner greatness. We are more than a plan on a page. We are the actions we take to carry out our aims and achieve our objectives. Our actions are what creates impressions of us and what allows us to demonstrate sincerity, and that our actions allow us to remain true to ourselves and all that we are, whether it's on a business card, LinkedIn, our social media, or our presence. So my point to you is that it's about more than words. We are humans, and throughout our business and our own lives, we all look to achieve connection, and that leads to action. It's not our thoughts which change our path. It's the actions we take, the habits we create, and the paths we lead for ourselves. So please use these words to connect to your inner greatness. And now to the brilliant gift guarder with the speech, Not Afraid to Fail.
Thank you, everyone. Not afraid to fail. Bring inner greatness out, Global Conference 2022. My name is Gift. The chronicles of my time. How do you measure your time? Just as darkness is not the opposite of light, but the absence of light. Failure is not the opposite of success, but learning from unsuccessful achievements or set goals. For me, failure is an opportunity to learn and to grow. Therefore, I do not fear failure, and I use it as an opportunity to improve myself. At age 7, my curiosity drove me to open a television set with the hope I could free the people that were entrapped inside the TV. Unfortunately, I couldn't couple back the TV because I broke some cables. That was the only television set in the house. My mom walked up to me. She didn't spank me. She didn't yell at me. She simply said, "You're going to become an engineer in the future." I knew there was a path that was being carved for me. However, there's a uniqueness about my name, just like every other person. The uniqueness of your name creates the pathway for your personal branding. I thank Dr. Hasib for a path he has carved for me. I can't thank you enough, sir. Not even for a platform like this, to network with everyone using a Zoom platform, using a LinkedIn platform, using a personal platform. I am who I am right now because of the personal branding that you have so spread across, all across the world right now. And I'm set just at the pinnacle, at the beginning of my zenith to explode. As I explode, I also explode with the success stories you impute inside of me. Now, I embrace discomfort as the first step to my greatness. That's coined from the book, Bring Inner Greatness Out, a personal brand by Dr. Hasib Mansur. I happen to be one of his students, a follower, and also a mentee, and I'm proud to say it anytime, any day. He has created a path that makes it so easy for me to step in. His shoes are so big for me to fear. However, I was able to redesign a shoes.
Thank you, Aisha. Imagine our personal and professional lives as trees planted in the arboretum of this world, observing the vast array of other trees of various sorts, functions, and postures. Visual vibrancies of the deciduous tree's colors benefit those with artistic appreciation. The enticing edibles from the fruit trees advertise their health, nutrition, and refreshment. The cooling canopies of the treetop towers create shaded shelter like a mother hen's wings over her baby chicks. There should be no doubt that we each presently possess appreciable uniqueness and that there is potentially much more to be revealed. Furthermore, we should recognize that all greatness shares a common denominator. So what element is this common denominator? And is it necessary or optional for personal greatness? So while considering the trees, quite possibly, we could legitimately agree that what each tree produces is indeed the measure of greatness. Unfortunately, if we were to consider that component alone, we would be overlooking a very important aspect of building and maintaining greatness. Thus, I have entitled this presentation, Established Roots for Lasting Fruits. The fruit depends upon the root. Therefore, we would all do well to consider the beginning of a tree's path for service, sustenance, and stability, so that in like fashion, we as individuals will have the same method of maturity for our development. Although planted in various locations and germinated in varied conditions, each one of us has a sprouted beginning in this proverbial arboretum. Your beginning may be your first job upon graduation from an environment of training and education. For others, this may be the start of a new job in a new year after years of experience with other ones. Others yet may have just finally realized it is time to get serious about unleashing their own personal greatness. However you find the beginning applicable to your life, consider the beginning of the tree in seed form, whether on the surface of the ground or situated within the earth. Have you considered that the first movement of a seed is downward and not upward? When a planted seed begins to germinate, it first sends out the early part of root development. This piece is called the radicle, and it moves out of the seed shell down into the dirt. In similar fashion, you and I should ensure that our first course of action upon breaking out of our proverbial shells, and particularly for growth and subsequent successes, is to establish roots downward. Well, downward, I thought we should aim for the skies. I thought we should launch to the highest heights. Yes, Those are appropriate aspirations, but we must never forget the fruit depends upon the root. And this is true both for the plant and the person. Any plant's entire future very much depends upon the root's quality of service, sustenance, and stability. So very quickly, let's discuss those three things, commencing with service. Trees serve many important purposes. You and I must also plan to serve others intentionally. Some people are manufacturers, they create. Others are messengers, they relate, they often innovate. And whichever you are, be that to others' benefit. Serve them, provide value to them. Sustenance. As previously mentioned, when the seed begins its journey toward the finish line or destination of fruit production, it first sends out the radicle. You and I are presented a very similar framework when we begin our respective journey for success. One of our earliest moves should be for sustenance, making provision for the life to thrive and not merely survive. Take what you have, and like that radicle of the seed, send it out and build or start building a root system in your life by finding those resources of nutrition, principles, people, publications, projects. And lastly, but very importantly, after service and sustenance, we have stability. Because in the end, what does it matter if it doesn't maintain? The storms of life will blow, and they do not discriminate and they do not exempt anyone. We must each prepare for our greatness with the element of stability. The tree may lose its leaves, branches, or fruit from time to time. However, the tree must stand, pursue growing, and persistently produce. It's okay to be disappointed, but it is never okay to get discouraged. You see, disappointment is missing an expected appointment of sorts, and that happens from time to time. Discouragement is losing your courage that is needed to continue moving forward. Establish your roots, service, sustenance, stability for lasting fruits. And now, please welcome Melissa Weiss, delivering the speech, Discovering and Developing My Personal Brand.
Thank you, Jesse. On February 12th, 2021, I attended the Bring Inner Greatness Out Personal Brand Conference, and I would like to share how pivotal that event was for me. I found the uniqueness of the presentation so motivational that I personalized my LinkedIn homepage that very evening. No more bland, standard backgrounds. I began adding graphics and content that represented my unique contribution to cybersecurity via my work in crowdsourced vulnerability disclosure. Now, little did I know that that event would be a launching pad to more technical writing and speaking engagements that I had wanted, but had not manifested. Listening to Dr. Hasib's audiobook, specifically Chapter 7, Discovering My Personal Brand, and Chapter 8, Developing My Personal Brand, promoted an internal wish to an operational plan. I may have listened to those two chapters more than 10 times. Each time, at every pass, I would hear another practical tip, and I would be able to explore that tip and implement it. So in my bio, you might have noticed that I've worked for the DoD for more than 12 years. So I have a strong resume, I have a bio, I have a professional work pick, but yet I was not optimizing my personal brand to the fullest. I simply did not recognize that my unique experiences would be of any interest to others. I would listen to section 8.5, and from that, I began building my brand through knowledge sharing. I had been a national technical trainer for private sector for more than 10 years, so I'm very comfortable delivering other people's knowledge. Now it was my turn to share what I am passionate about, cybersecurity. I implemented a bit of a twist to Section 8.8 cross-brand promotion because I'm not selling a product. It became an extension of relationship building, a cross collaboration with other individuals and organizations within my field. By promoting the event of think tanks I belong to and submitting abstracts for future speaking engagements with colleagues in different federal agencies in promotion of whole of government approach to problem solving and information sharing. I was pleasantly surprised when at the end of the year wrap up at work revealed that I had conducted 31 speaking engagements in 2021. They included podcasts, global conferences, media interviews, and technical mission briefings, along with collaborating on several published strategic and technical papers. Now, however, as it warns in Section 8.9, do not rest on your laurels. There are plenty more chapters to operationalize, and I am sure I will be equally inspired, as I have been already, by all of tonight's co-presenters. Your results may vary. However, the first step is to start discovering and developing your personal brand. Thank you. And with that, I would like to introduce Mccloskey with Achieving Greatness During the Pandemic.
Thank you, Melissa. Hello, everyone. It's truly an honor to be a part of this global conference with each and every one of you. I am Mccloskey, and I want to personally share how I bring my inner greatness out. I learned leadership while serving in the military. As a Marine, I deployed to Afghanistan and Iraq. Now, I am not telling you to join the military to become a leader, but I want to share the most important point that helped my transition into my civilian career. Networking. Networking is the most important thing you could do to increase your career success, and it costs $0. Many people are truly willing to help if you ask for it. For calling myself an introvert, LinkedIn surely proved me wrong because I have become very chatty and made over 6,000 connections that are meaningful, with cold calls being common. So much for trying to claim the introvert group. You must fine-tune this skill because you must learn who to connect with and what to say when making a new connection. I was fortunate to have just the right amount of connections to assist with my transition into consulting, which led to my career growth within cybersecurity. While networking is very important for your personal brand, I would also suggest having multiple income streams outside of your primary job. COVID has impacted many career fields, and many people out in the world, including my friends and family, have lost their jobs due to events like the Thanos snap. While it was hard to predict COVID impacting the world, we must have a generic backup plan in case we lose our jobs. It is more common these days to see companies have mass layoffs because companies are built to sustain the business, but not assist with helping the employees sustain their family. Having a secondary or multiple income streams, either in your primary career field or outside, can help tremendously if your main income disappears. I was always told to put all of myself into my main career because doing so will motivate me to bring my inner greatness out and overcome any difficulty I will face. However, we must always pursue our passion. I made a mistake when I elected to put my personal goals aside to complete training for a job that ended up not using the skills that I learned. I would have grown and been happy if I stayed with my goals instead of thinking that the encouraged training would assist with my growth within the company. I was sadly mistaken, and I had to work extremely hard to recover from this decision. So network and pursue your passion so you could be successful and happy. I encourage everyone here to follow me. Most of you have already connected with me. Soon, I will be sharing some exciting news that's a direct result of the advice that I am sharing with you tonight. In due time, I will also be sharing short stories about my troubles and my triumphs in between my success stories. Thank you, everyone. And now please give a warm welcome to Dr. Tammy Erickson with her speech, I am a bit of everything.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. I want to say thank you, Dr. Hasib, for inviting me back. That must have been that I did well last year. And I have been working on my brand since I met Dr. Hasib, but I didn't really know that until fairly recently. And we had a discussion with a few people, and all of a sudden I said, oh, that's it. That's me. That's what it is. So let me share it. It's the first time I'm sharing it with anyone. So I'm sharing it with all of you, what my brand really is. So I once upon a time was a ballerina. I was a dancer. I know a little bit about dancing. I can do ballet, tap, jazz, Hawaiian, Tahitian. I can do Chaka. I can do Cherokee. I can do country western. I can do ballroom, being that the quick step is my favorite. Now, I have also been a queen. I have been the 1979, let's see, I think it was Little Miss Showcase, Junior Miss Bloomington, and it was 1987 Miss Bloomington, but who knows where that tiara went. I am an actress, can you tell? Diva a little bit. Pennies from Heaven, if anyone ever saw that movie sometime in the 70s or 80s. How about the Tim Conway Show? Anybody remember that one? I was the little two-stepper in the back. Oh, that's right, I was the littlest one, so I was in the curtain most of the time. I've been known to sing a few things, but the music teacher paid my mom not to have me come back, so maybe not that. I've been known to be a little city and walk the streets. I was raised for a while in San Francisco. I've also had extensive travel to most metropolitan cities where I've worked. However, I was also raised part-time in the country, and I still have my chickens. I do raise cattle out here and have my own garden. But remember, as many people have said here, do not put all your eggs in one basket. I think Nicholas said you should always have a second, form of income. I've been known to ride a few motorcycles and have a few of those as well, continue to do it. I like Indians and Victory motorcycles because they are still American made. But just in case, I've also been known to ride a few Longhorns. And yes, I did say that. Longhorns. I raise and ride Texas Longhorns to raise money for definitely usually kid functions. Now, let's move on to a little bit of professionalism now. So my profession is an auditor, compliance auditor. So we do a lot of number crunching. Now, I would say that I have a little bit of a sense of humor when I do that auditing, but those that I audit, if they get citations for unethicalness, they probably would not agree with my sense of humor. I am a teacher. I do teach still today, and I do get apples from my students. But recently, I've been crowned with a mentorism. Someone sent this cup to me because I'm super amazing, multitasking, life-changing miracle worker. So I really, really appreciate the mentor title. Now, as you can see, I'm certainly a presenter. I'm here with you all today, but I've also been given the title by Dr. Mansur as the Sticky Note Queen. Don't find me, or find me if you'd like. Hashtag sticky notes. Now, with all of that comes a little bit more fun related to my brand. Now, I'm not going to get a little crazy, just a little bit more maybe, because I have somewhat of a sense of humor, kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit, but I am Dr. Tammy Erickson. I am a CEO. And if anyone has ever gone to my website, seen any of my pictures, I am a bit of everything. And that is my brand. And with that, if you thought that was good, just wait till you get to Mika Evans. And her topic is toot your horn.
Toot your horn. What's your value? Personal brand. Learn how to. Toot your horn. What's your value? Personal brand. Learn how to. Been on the job many years, isolated, blind, not so clear. Trying to learn new markets, help build my brand and earn so well. Went on an interview, also ethical. Found out that I'm not so technical. What does that even mean? Cold word that I don't fit the team. Hey, I got a degree. Cybersecurity. Do what's right, do what I'm taught. People say I'm not at fault. I just know I'm right for the position. You know what? I'm on a mission. Learn who you are. Tell it like it is. Know you a star. Give them the biz. Know what you do. Share it like it is. And see it through. Embrace it like a whiz. Toot your horn. What's your value? Personal brand. Learn how to. Toot your horn. What's your value? Personal brand. Learn how to. Solve the problem, don't complain. Don't put others as a blame. Be the best is what you do. Go and let your light shine through. All your talents are hidden. Bring the greatness in submission. Don't be scared how you deliver. Just know that you are a giver. Fearless, polite, passionate, alright? Considerate, ambitious, courageous. Your words nutritious. Now toot your horn. What's your value? Personal brand. Learn how to. Toot your horn. What's your value? Personal brand. Learn how to. Find out what your niche. Be the best at it. Build your brand as it stands. You will have a glitch. Don't deter from it. Self first, know your worth, and converse. Most of all, network. Toot your horn. What's your value? Personal brand. Learn how to. Toot your horn.
Yes, toot your horn. Yes, 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 but I ain't done yet. Y'all been talking about all this inner greatness. But you know what? I'm going to show that to y'all now with the inner greatness that I got right now for you. Here we go.
inner greatness, inner greatness, inner greatness, inner greatness. Give yourself a chance, ha! Take a minute dance, ha! You can enhance, ha! Take this is a choice. Look at W's voice. Shout loud with the voice. Celebrate and rejoice. Ooh, why your hands so moist? Don't be scared, you're not dead. Don't be mamas and click it up. Talent stay, you know square. From your greatness, from your greatness, from your greatness, from your greatness. Coaching, mentor, sponsor, gonna fit job. Inner greatness, inner greatness, inner greatness, inner greatness. Coaching gotta pay up, mentor build a rapport. Then they get to know you well. Now it's hard to build your clientele of your greatness, of your greatness, of your greatness. Don't think of you, nothing less. Think of you as the best. You got talent and finesse. I will vouch and attest that you cannot even rest. Just go out and show your inner greatness. Elevate, motivate, communicate, don't hesitate, stimulate, don't complicate, appreciate, congratulate, demonstrate your inner greatness, inner greatness, inner greatness. Coaching helps you build yourself if you got that change. Discussion and rehearsing and recording and feedback. Mental health to build yourself up to see what you lack. Coaching build hourly, songs, sleep, a salary, that offering you all these things. How ethical can that be? So I'm out for the morning. So I'm out for the morning. So I'm out for the morning. It doesn't mean you don't know how to stand up, head up, build yourself and level up. One more tip. One more tip. One more tip. You won't lose that relationship. Mentors got that down pat. Something that coaches lack. Mentors got that greater thought. They won't treat you stone cold. Living life is what they do. Just to get to know you. Living like family. Got that authenticity. Their minds, they speak their mind. They give their time without a dime. They help, advise, they speak their mind. They give their time without a dime. Now they know you better. Doing it all together and what you got. Now they know you better. Put it all together and what you got. Sponsor get you notice, ha. Help you from the dust, ha. Clean up, polish up, diving not interrupted. Put your name in people's ears. Market content is so clear. Expose your work on LinkedIn. Do something different, not complete. Sponsors on steroids. Market clean with tabloids. Where some really enjoy. Public size cannot rest. Dedicate, fully invest. Advertise your success. Exposing your inner greatness. Inner greatness. She makes you sponsor. Big job. Inner greatness. Inner greatness. Inner greatness. Inner greatness. Expose your inner greatness. Inner greatness. It's a brand.
What do you think, folks? What do you think? Turn your mics on, make some noise. What a
Fantabulous.
Oh,
That was awesome.
awesome.
Well done,
Energizing.
This is great stuff.
What a conference.
Does it
What a
again.
conference.
Thank you.
Everybody, anybody have any questions, comments? We would love to hear it. This is still being recorded because we want you to tell us what you thought and what will you do? Will you help us share this inner greatness with others?
I have to say my favorite part, Jesse, you're like a brother to me. But I love the analogy in regards to a seed needs to grow down before it can start to reach up. And I that really clicked inside of me. That that was just amazing. Thank you.
Kind words. A lot of those thoughts, actually, I speak out of conviction, unless I'm doing some corny humor somewhere. But I've been through some difficulties, and a lot of the things I speak come out of either things I've learned or things I should have learned.
Well, truly awesome. Thank you.
Thank you,
Awesome.
brother. Glad to have you with us tonight.
Any questions
You
from
too.
anyone? Comments from anyone?
It was truly awesome. I learned.
I
so
thought it
many
was
new
terrific.
things.
I was very impressed with all the speakers and so glad that I joined tonight.
Great.
Rika?
Who was saying what? Somebody else was saying something. Rekha, you were saying something.
I was saying I feel so inspired now because I think this was my motive to join you, and I'm really happy. I'm so glad. I'm feeling so refreshed. Thank you, all of you, for such lovely learnings. And Jesse, I loved your voice so much, and I learned so many things from all of you. Thank you for being there.
Jesse has a future in audiobook recording
That's,
or
that's 2 or 3 votes for a narration. So you're gonna have to hook me up with Audible or something. I'll have to learn how to read first, I guess.
It's one of those things you should have learned.
I know. I'll do a picture book for everybody. How about that?
That would be great.
Anyone else?
I just want, oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Who's?
It is truly enriching. Hello.
Yes.
It is truly enriching listening to everyone's personal experiences, especially in this time of the pandemic. I really found it very interesting listening to the very exciting experiences of the speakers. Truly amazing, and I truly learned a lot from them. How to face realities, how to face problems, but solutions to offer, and so on. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Anyone else?
I just wanted to say how wonderful this was. I could not have thought of a better way to spend a Friday night in the pandemic. I mean, where are we going anyway, right? And you know, Tamiko, I had my camera off, but I was really like, hey! And I really loved it. And this was just such a great ending to, you know, kind of tumultuous day for me, and I feel so uplifted, and I think that everyone was so positive and funny and talented and insightful and enriching, and I just thank you all so much for sharing your gifts and your inner greatness with us all. I feel so blessed to have found this community. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am to think about all the possibility. I mean, Melissa, that 31 speaking engagements, like that was insane. And everybody had these wonderful, enriching tidbits that I can't wait to share with other people, to tell about your wonderful stories and, you know, contributions that you're making in other people's lives. And I'm very thankful.
Well, Candace, thank you very much. This is my 4th this week, actually. And I was hoping I would have enough energy to really project, because I did an hour-long keynote yesterday to a bunch of data scientists. And that's a tough audience. So I was very happy to come back and be in the greatness of this group, and really happy that Tamiko's music worked out, because that was awesome.
Oh my gosh. OMG. You just don't know. Well, you do know, but
I do know, but I'm so happy.
thank you.
Now, do you know this secret about Tamiko? Tamiko was supposedly shy, according to her mom. Now,
Really?
this is Tamiko, I think, 4 years after I met her first. And you have actually heard or read her story in my book because she's all over. I used her as an example with her permission, of course. You know that. So this is that Tomiko who is in that book.
Can I share a story about Tomiko and Dr. Mansur?
Please.
Oh, wow.
If you won't mind. I was at a conference, ARMA International, and we were so enthused to have Dr. Mansur present on cybersecurity leadership. And that's where I came across his book. And as the session started, the audio system crashed. So we couldn't hear Dr. Mansur, and I was very close to the front. And Tomiko appeared from nowhere and stole the show and kept things going and kept the conference going. And what I do remember is I rushed out after, didn't find Tomiko, but I found Dr. Mansur, and we started talking, and I bought his book, and I bought the t-shirt, and I've worn the t-shirt. I've since hung it up, but I still have it. And that's the beginning. And so I just wanted to share that story with your permission, of course, but you just jumped in and continued, added some continuity till we could hear more from the good doctor himself.
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I want to say something to Tomiko. So she doesn't know this. I stalk her. I mean, I am such a big fan. After the last conference, I am like, what is this woman up to? And I love listening to the videos. You have no idea how many times I have heard your video on that Dr. Mansur Hasib channel. Something is certainly wrong with me because I used to have that same fandom for Dr. Hasib, and I went on to him like a creepy, crazy creature, asking for a quote as if I live in his neighborhood. I was of the perception that this man is going to block me on social media for what I am trying to do. But thankfully, the universe has been kind. Dr. Mansur Hasib instead gave me the opportunity to be his mentee. I was sure in my head he is going to post it publicly about my madness. That would you write a quote for me? Like I have hired him to write a quote for my 100 days of InfoSec. But you know what? That I tried. I am super proud of the fact. So that's greatness for you.
I'm always following Aisha Berry. I'm like, okay, what's her new password song? Or her new password thing, and I use it for my staff all the time. Well, this is why you have to have a password. Look at this.
I have a new video. I'm going to post it. It's pretty funny about password resets.
Now, one of the things that is going on this coming Tuesday, which is January 18th over here, Bishakha, you're participating in the contest, right?
Yes.
So this is another. Aisha, are you participating in the contest?
Yes, and table topics.
Yes. So this is the thing. It's completely free. And the feed, if you go to my LinkedIn feed, you'll be seeing the registration link. You're welcome to come to see our contest. I will be participating in the International Speech Contest. So I will be giving a speech titled The Power of Tea. And so you will see various people competing in various things. So this is how we polish our public speaking, because public speaking is an art, really. I mean, if you don't practice and you don't challenge yourself, it just doesn't happen. I've been doing it for so many years, but why do I keep doing it? Because I keep getting better. There's just no end to this journey of becoming better and better and better. This is why this phrase was actually Bishakha's question that prompted this phrase, because Bishakha one day asked me at a conference like this. She asked a question. She said, Dr. Hasib, when will I know I found my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, my success? I said, wow, that's a profound question that everybody would ask. I mean, that's a very common question because that's what they told you, right? Look for the pot of gold. But I told Bishakha, which has been always my belief, I said, Bishakha, never look for the pot of gold. Instead, ride the rainbow forever. Message stuck with her. And so I was so proud that she chose riding the rainbow as her speech today. And so appropriately with all the colors of India and everything. That was just beautiful.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Who else? Anybody hasn't spoken yet?
Well, I would actually like to give a shout out to Emma.
Please.
Because I wrote down, and I did put it in the chat as quoted by you, but people remember how you make them feel. That really, really resonated with me, and that was awesome. Thank you so much for that.
The sticky note. It's got a sticky note now. It's there forever.
I just wanted to say to Dr. Erickson that Aisha Berry now knows all your passwords.
And you know what, Dr. Erickson, because of you, I don't know how to do without the sticky note. I just can't do without them now.
Thank you. It's a great tool. Sticky notes are fantastic. So for those of you, you'll have to watch the Dr. Hasib episode, whatever number it is. But a quick thing about the sticky note is that I take a sticky note from a conference like this or something that I'm involved in that is meaningful. And so, yes, Emma, you got a sticky note that people remember how you make them feel. And I'll work on this. This will be something that'll be memorable to me, and it's very important. So I will work on this as part of my brand or my part of growing my inner greatness. And so this is something that I will work on, and that's how these sticky notes come together. And I read them on a regular basis and work on these sticky notes. It's my piece. So
all right. So now that we are at our close of the planned part of the program, what I'm going to do is ask everybody to turn on your microphones. Let's give all the speakers a great hand for this amazing presentation that everybody did. Turn on your microphones and then let's give them a shout out. All right. Woo-hoo!
Good job, everybody.
Good work, everybody.